I always thought my life with Rachel was simple, warm, and safe, especially with our wedding only 2 weeks away. Everyone around us kept saying we were the perfect couple, and for a long time I believed it. But lately, small things started to bother me. She held her phone too close, hid the screen when I walked by, and stayed up late whispering to someone she called a coworker. One night I asked, "Who keeps texting this late?" She laughed too quickly and said, "Just work stuff, babe." Her smile didn't match her eyes, and something in my chest tightened. At the rehearsal dinner, everyone was smiling, drinking, and celebrating like the world was perfect. I tried to relax, but Rachel kept touching my arm, kissing my cheek, laughing a little too loudly. Noah leaned toward me and whispered, "Dude, she seems nervous tonight." I shrugged and said, "Maybe she's just stressed." But Emily's eyes kept finding mine through the crowd. Every time our eyes met, she looked like she wanted to say something but couldn't. When I walked past her, she grabbed my wrist gently and whispered, "Aiden, can we talk later?" I frowned and asked, "Is something wrong?" Before she could answer, Rachel appeared beside me, wrapping her arm through mine. Her grip was tight, almost desperate. She forced a smile and said, "Come sit with me, okay?" I nodded, but Emily's worried face stayed in my mind. When we sat down, Rachel leaned close and whispered, "Don't let anyone ruin us." Her voice trembled like she was scared of something I didn't understand. I asked softly, "Why would anyone try to ruin us?" She looked away and said, "People talk too much." After dinner, people hugged us and left in groups, laughing and calling it a perfect night. I stepped outside for some air, and Emily followed me out the door. She said quietly, "I didn't want to say this here, but you need to hear it." My stomach tightened as I asked, "Emily, what is it?" She looked down, took a shaky breath, and whispered, "It's about last weekend." I felt the air around me grow heavy, and I said, "What happened? You're scaring me." Emily looked up, her eyes full of guilt. "I shouldn't say it here." "Not yet. But something happened that you need to know before the wedding." My heart pounded as I stepped closer and said, "Emily, just tell me the truth." She shook her head. "I will, but not with Rachel watching. Meet me tomorrow. Please." Before I could answer, Rachel opened the door and called out, "Aiden? What are you two talking about?" Emily stepped back instantly. "Nothing. Just wishing him good night." Rachel walked up beside me, her smile tight, and said, "Let's go home." I nodded slowly, but the worry in Emily's voice echoed in my head the whole way to the car. When we reached the parking lot, Rachel slipped her hand into mine and whispered, "Don't listen to anyone trying to turn you against me." I forced a smile and said, "I just want the truth." She looked away, and in that moment, I felt the first real crack in our perfect world. Tonight, Emily found me behind the venue the next afternoon. She looked pale, like she hadn't slept. I asked, "What's going on?" "You said it was important." She swallowed hard and whispered, "Aiden, Rachel didn't go on a girls' trip last weekend." My chest tightened. "Then where was she?" Emily glanced around nervously. "At a private lake house. With Tyler." I stared at her, confused. "Tyler? Her ex?" She nodded slowly. "I didn't want to believe it either. But I was there. I saw them." My voice cracked. "Saw them what, Emily?" She closed her eyes. "Flirting. Drinking. Disappearing into the bedroom together." I felt the world tilt. "No. Rachel wouldn't do that. She told me she hates him." Emily stepped closer. "I know what I saw, Aiden. I couldn't watch you walk into this blind." I shook my head. "Why didn't you say something earlier?" She whispered. "Because she begged us not to tell you. Olivia and I, we didn't know what to do." My hand started shaking. Emily, tell me the truth. Every detail. She hesitated. They acted like a couple again, holding hands, whispering. She wore his jacket when it got cold. I stepped back, feeling sick. This can't be real. Emily grabbed my arm. I'm sorry. I didn't want to hurt you, but you needed to know. I ran a hand through my hair. I need to hear it from her. Without waiting, I walked back inside. Rachel was arranging decorations with her mother. I said, Can we talk? She smiled too brightly. Sure, babe. Everything okay? No, I said quietly. Emily told me where you really were last weekend. Her smile vanished. What did she say? That you were at a lake house with Tyler. Rachel froze for a second before forcing a laugh. Are you serious? She's jealous, Aiden. She hates that we're getting married. Rachel, don't lie to me, I said. She crossed her arms. I'm not lying. Emily wants attention. She always tries to make everything about her. I said, So you weren't with Tyler? No. Why would I ever go back to him? I stared straight into her eyes. Then why is Emily shaking? Why would she risk everything to warn me? Rachel's face tightened. Because she wants you to doubt me. She wants to ruin the wedding. I whispered, I don't know what to believe. She stepped closer, grabbing my hands. Believe me, I'm your fiancée. She's just bitter. I pulled my hands away slowly. If you're telling the truth, why do you look scared right now? She backed up slightly. I'm scared because you're listening to lies. I'm scared of losing you over nothing. I stood there, my heart breaking open. If it's nothing, then it won't matter when I find out the truth. Her eyes widened for a moment before she looked away. Aiden, don't do this. Not now. But inside, I already knew something was wrong. Emily's guilt wasn't fake. Rachel's fear wasn't fake either. One of them was lying. And deep down, I already knew which one. I tried to push Emily's warning out of my mind, but it stuck to me like glue. At work the next day, Noah walked over to my desk and whispered, Dude, can I talk to you for a second? I nodded, and he lowered his voice. I wasn't sure if I should tell you, but I saw something last night. I frowned. What did you see? He hesitated. A photo. Someone posted it, then deleted it fast. It was Rachel, wearing Tyler's jacket. My stomach dropped. Are you sure? Positive, he said. I didn't want to believe it, so I didn't say anything before. I rubbed my face. Why is this happening now? That evening, I went to help with wedding decorations. Olivia was arranging flowers. When she saw me, she straightened up fast, almost knocking a vase over. Hey, Olivia, I said. Hey, she replied without meeting my eyes. I stepped closer. You were at the lake house too, right? She froze for half a second. Yeah. Why? I watched her hands tremble. I just want to know if Rachel was really there. She swallowed hard. I don't know what Emily told you. I'm asking you, I said. Before she could answer, Rachel walked in cheerfully. Aiden, come here. She ran over and hugged me tightly. Her arms felt different, cold, stiff, forced. I didn't hug back right away. She pulled back and asked, Why do you look upset? I said quietly, Just tired. She smiled, but her eyes looked nervous. Everything is fine. Don't worry so much. Her words didn't help. They only made the knot in my chest grow. Later, when Rachel stepped outside to take a call, I walked back to Olivia. I need the truth, I said. Was Rachel with Tyler last weekend? Olivia looked around like someone might be listening. Aiden, please don't make me say this. I deserve to know. I whispered. She shook her head. Rachel asked us not to get involved. Olivia, I said firmly. Look at me. She finally lifted her eyes, and everything in her expression told me the answer before she even spoke. I can't protect her anymore, she whispered. My heart pounded. So Emily was telling the truth? Her lips trembled as she nodded slightly. Yes. I stepped back, the air leaving my lungs. Olivia covered her face with her hands. I'm so sorry, I whispered. Why didn't any of you say something? She shook her head. We were afraid. Rachel said she'd fix everything. She said you didn't need to know. My hands curled into fists. I needed to know before I asked her to be my wife, Olivia whispered. Aiden, it wasn't just one mistake. Those words sliced straight through me. Before I could ask more, Rachel walked back in and smiled. Ready to go home? I stared at her, seeing every crack Emily and Olivia had revealed. And for the first time, the woman I loved felt like a stranger. Olivia's hands were shaking when I found her again. I said quietly, Tell me everything. No more hiding. She looked up at me, eyes already wet. Aiden, I'm sorry, she whispered. I stepped closer. Sorry for what? She covered her mouth and choked out. For lying to you. Rachel, she cheated at the lake house. With Tyler. We all knew. Everyone except you. My chest tightened so hard I could barely breathe. So it's true, I said. All of it. Olivia nodded, tears falling. She begged us not to say anything. She said it was a mistake. She said she'd fix it before the wedding. I whispered. Fix it? How do you fix cheating? She cried harder. I should have told you the moment I saw it. I just didn't want to ruin your life. I shook my head. You didn't ruin anything. Rachel did. Suddenly the door opened, and Rachel walked in. When she saw Olivia crying, her face drained of color. What's going on? She asked. I turned toward her. Olivia told me the truth. Rachel's voice cracked. What truth? That you cheated, I said. That you were with Tyler last weekend. Her lips trembled. Aiden, don't lie, I snapped. Not again. She looked at Olivia, then back at me. Her shoulders dropped. Okay, she whispered. Yes, I was there. But it wasn't what you think. I let out a bitter laugh. Really? Then tell me what it was. She took a shaky breath. I was drunk. I was stressed. I made a stupid mistake. I stared at her. You slept with him. Her eyes filled with tears. It meant nothing. I swear. I was confused. Everything was happening so fast. I felt trapped. Trapped? I repeated. So you went back to your ex to feel free? Rachel reached for my arm. Aiden, please. I'm telling you the truth now. I pulled my arm away. You should have told me then. Not now. Not after lying straight to my face. She sobbed. I didn't want to lose you. I thought if I pretended it didn't happen, maybe it would go away. Cheating doesn't just go away, I said. It follows you. It destroys everything. She fell to her knees, grabbing my hand. I'm sorry. I swear it meant nothing. I love you. Please don't leave me. I looked down at her fingers trembling around mine. Once, that touch meant safety. Now it felt like chains. I whispered, If you loved me, you wouldn't have done this. Rachel cried harder. I'll do anything. I'll cut him off. I'll tell everyone. Just don't end us. I stepped back, pulling free. I can't talk right now. If I stay, I'll say something I can't take back. She reached for me again. Aiden. No, I said softly. I need space. Her sobs echoed behind me as I walked out of the room, my mind spinning, my heart breaking, and one thought cutting deeper than the rest. I didn't know who she was anymore. I messaged Tyler and asked him to meet me at a quiet cafe. He replied within seconds, "Sure. Been waiting for this." His confidence told me everything before I even saw him. When he finally walked in, he smirked like he owned the room. I said, "Sit." He slid into the chair across from me, grinning. "So Rachel finally told you?" I clenched my jaw. "I want to hear it from you." He laughed. "Hear what? That we had a good time?" "Because we did. A really good time." My hands tightened into fists. "Don't play games. Did you sleep with her?" He shrugged casually. "We didn't exactly sleep." He rushed to my face. "Why would she go back to you?" He leaned forward. "Because she always does. I'm the one she calls when she wants something real." I whispered. "You're lying." He chuckled. "Am I? She told me you were too soft, that you wouldn't understand, that she needed a break from being perfect." My stomach twisted. "You're disgusting." He raised his brows. "Maybe, but she came to me, remember that?" I felt something inside me snap. "You're proud of ruining her life?" He smirked again. "Ruining? No. She'll be back after your little wedding show is over. She always comes back." I pushed my chair back. "You won't see her again." He laughed loudly. "Keep telling yourself that, groom." I stood up, my voice cold. "Enjoy your fantasy, Tyler. Because I'm ending it." He leaned back, relaxed. "Sure you are." I walked out before I said something violent. My chest burned. Everything Emily and Olivia told me was true. Rachel didn't just make a mistake, she chose him. Willingly. Happily. When I reached the parking lot, my phone buzzed with a message from Emily. "Did you talk to him?" I typed back, "Yeah." He confirmed everything. A moment later, she called. Her voice shook. "Aiden, I'm so sorry. It's not your fault," I said. "I just needed the truth. I should have told you earlier," she whispered. I sighed. "I guess everyone thought protecting her was more important than protecting me." There was a pause before she said, "What are you going to do now?" I stared at the wedding invitation sitting in my car. Rachel's perfect smile mocked me. "I don't know," I said. "Part of me wants to end everything." Emily sounded relieved. "You should. You don't deserve this." I shook my head. "No, ending it isn't enough." "What do you mean?" she asked. I looked at Rachel's name printed in gold. "She hid the truth in the dark. I want to show it in the light," Emily whispered. "Aiden, what are you planning?" "Nothing violent," I said. "Just the truth." When I got home, I set the invitations on the table. I stared at them for a long, long time. Then I said quietly to myself, "I won't cancel the wedding." I picked up my phone, my voice steady now. "I'm going to expose her. In front of everyone." The wedding hall glowed with soft lights and gentle music, but all I felt was a cold stillness inside me. Rachel stood at the end of the aisle in a white dress that should have taken my breath away. She looked perfect, smiling, glowing, pretending. When she reached me, she whispered, "You look nervous, babe." I whispered back, "Do I?" She laughed lightly, completely unaware of what was coming. The pastor began speaking, and the guests smiled at us like we were a fairy tale. I kept my breathing slow. Rachel kept squeezing my hand, saying, "We made it, Aiden." Finally. I didn't respond. My silence made her glance at me, confused. Then the pastor looked at me and asked, "Do you take this woman to be your wife?" I took a small step forward and said clearly, "Before I do, everyone should see what happened last weekend." The entire hall froze. Rachel's face drained of color. "Aiden, What are you talking about? She whispered. I raised my hand toward the screen behind us. Play it. Gasps erupted as the lights dimmed and the screen came alive. First came the photos. Rachel wearing Tyler's jacket, Rachel sitting too close to him at the lake house, Rachel holding his face with a smile she never gave me any more. Whispers exploded across the hall. What is this? No way. She cheated? Rachel stumbled back. Aiden, stop! Please stop! I didn't move. The next clip played, her voice laughing. He doesn't have to know. She covered her mouth and fell to her knees. Aiden, please! I can explain. Don't do this. The voice notes came next, her flirting, whispering to Tyler, calling him late at night. People shook their heads in disbelief. Rachel's mother gasped. Her father stood up, furious. Rachel! What have you done? Rachel crawled toward me, grabbing my pants. I'm sorry. Please don't leave me like this. I love you. I stepped back. Love isn't what you did. At the side of the hall, Tyler tried to slip out quietly, but Noah stood in the doorway, blocking him. Going somewhere? Noah asked coldly. Tyler froze, trapped in the humiliation he deserved. Guests whispered louder. She lied to him. Poor guy. I can't believe this happened at the wedding. Rachel sobbed louder. Aiden, please don't walk away. Don't leave me like this. I'll change. I swear I'll change. Just don't end it here. I took the ring box from my pocket, opened it slowly, and placed it gently on the floor in front of her. This was supposed to be our future, I said softly. But you buried it last weekend. She reached for my hand again, but I stepped away. Goodbye, Rachel. Her scream broke through the hall, but I didn't turn around. Noah opened the doors for me, and I walked out of the wedding that was never meant to happen. Behind me, all I heard were whispers, cries, and the truth finally in the light. The wedding disaster spread faster than I expected. 2 days later, Noah called me and said, Bro, the video is everywhere. I sighed. How bad is it? He answered, Millions of views bad. I closed my eyes. Great. When I opened my phone, the first thing I saw was Rachel's face frozen mid-cry on a thumbnail. Comment sections were filled with jokes, nicknames, and memes. One clip was titled Cheater Bride Exposed Live. Another one said, Top 10 Wedding Fails. I whispered, I didn't want this. Emily messaged me saying, Are you okay? I replied, Not really. She called right away. Aiden, listen, you did the right thing. I stared at the ceiling. Then why do I feel like trash? Because you're a good person, she said. Good people don't celebrate pain. Later that week, Noah came over with groceries. You look dead, man. I muttered. Thanks. He dropped the bags on the table. No joke, you saved yourself. She would have hurt you worse later. I rubbed my face. I keep thinking, maybe I went too far. He shook his head. She went too far. You just showed people the truth. The news got worse. Rachel lost her job after clients complained about the viral scandal. Her mother sent me a short message, We are ashamed. We don't blame you. Her father didn't message at all. Tyler deactivated all his accounts and vanished. Someone said he left town after getting confronted by 2 of his exes. I didn't care enough to ask. One night, Emily called again. She's not doing well, she whispered. I asked, Is she blaming me? No, she said. She's blaming herself. I didn't know how to respond, so I stayed silent. Emily continued softly, Just don't let this destroy you too. After hanging up, I sat alone in the dark. My apartment felt too quiet, too heavy. I whispered into the empty room. Why don't I feel better? I expected relief, satisfaction, something, but all I felt was a hollow space where love used to be. Some nights guilt hit me like a punch. I'd think of Rachel crying on the floor, begging me not to leave. I'd hear her voice again, "Please don't do this." Other nights I felt relief. A slow, strange peace that told me I walked away at the right time. I never knew which feeling would hit me when I opened my eyes in the morning. Noah kept visiting, checking if I was eating. Emily kept texting to make sure I wasn't drowning in my thoughts. I appreciated them both, even if I didn't know how to say it. One night, Noah handed me a soda and said, "Look, man, heartbreak doesn't have a clean ending. But you didn't ruin anything. You escaped." I nodded slowly. Maybe one day I'll believe that. For now, I lived in the space between guilt and relief, numb, wounded, but still standing. I thought everything was perfect. Rachel smiled at me across the rehearsal dinner hall, her hand squeezing mine tightly. "Don't let anyone ruin us," she whispered. Her voice trembled, soft but insistent. I laughed nervously, brushing it off. "No one could, Ratch. I promise." But the smile didn't reach her eyes. Something was off. I noticed the way she hid her phone under the table, how she stayed glued to it even while talking to her friends. Every time she laughed, it sounded forced, brittle, like glass. Emily, one of her bridesmaids, kept staring at me. Her gaze was sharp, calculating, like she knew something I didn't. I tried to ignore it, focusing on the bright candles and the chatter around us. Still, her eyes lingered on me every few minutes. "Excuse me," Emily whispered, pulling me aside after the main course. "I need to tell you something." I hesitated. "Now? Is this about the seating?" She shook her head, biting her lip. "It's about Rachel. I think you should know." My heart skipped. "What do you mean?" "I saw her last weekend," Emily said, voice low. "She wasn't on that girl's trip she told everyone about." "What?" I felt my stomach twist. "Where was she?" Emily swallowed hard. "At a lake house with Tyler, her ex. They were close. Drinking, laughing, disappearing together." I blinked. The words didn't sink in. Rachel with Tyler? My Rachel, my fiancée, smiling and planning our wedding while sneaking away with him. Emily reached out, her hand on my arm. "I couldn't let you walk into this blind. I had to tell you." I wanted to scream, to ask 100 questions at once. I wanted to refuse to believe it. "Are you sure?" I whispered, voice breaking. "Yes, I'm sure. I hate that it's me telling you like this," she said. I tried to catch my breath. My mind was spinning. My heart hurt, but I clung to a desperate hope. Maybe it's not what it looks like," I said. Emily shook her head. "I wish it weren't true. I really do." I nodded, swallowing hard. "Thanks for telling me." As I walked back to Rachel, she glanced at me, eyes shining with warmth. "Everything okay?" she asked, voice soft and careful. I forced a smile, hiding the storm inside. "Yeah, just a little hungry, that's all." Emily watched from a distance, her eyes full of guilt and worry. My stomach twisted, a cold feeling spreading. Something was very wrong. I didn't know how deep it went yet, but I knew one thing for sure. My world had just tilted. I've spent months trying to rebuild myself. Early mornings at the gym, long walks in the park, reading books I never thought I'd pick up. Each day, I feel a little lighter, though the memories still linger. At work, Claire, a quiet coworker, catches me staring at my laptop with a frown. "You look like you're solving world problems," she says, smiling softly. I chuckle. "Feels like it sometimes." She leans against the desk. "Want to talk about it?" I shake my head. "Not really. But thanks." She nods. "That's fine. I can listen without you saying anything. Her presence is calming. There's no pressure, no judgment, just someone who seems to understand pain without needing explanations. Over lunch breaks, we start talking about random things, movies, music, silly office gossip. I notice myself laughing again, genuinely. It's a strange, warm feeling, almost foreign. One evening, I linger after everyone leaves. Claire is organizing papers. "Hey, Aiden," she says, glancing up. "You don't have to carry everything alone, you know." I shrug. "I don't know how to not carry it." She smiles. "Maybe you're allowed to be happy again." Her words hit me harder than I expect. I look away, pretending to shuffle files, but inside something shifts. "Happy again?" I ask quietly. "Yes," she says softly. "You deserve it. Pain teaches, but it doesn't get to own your whole life. You can outgrow it." I nod slowly, feeling a strange mix of hope and fear. It's not about forgetting Rachel or the betrayal anymore. It's about letting myself live without letting the past dictate me. Later, I walk home, thinking about what she said. The air is cool, the streetlights casting long shadows. I realize healing isn't a destination, it's a process. Each laugh, each conversation, each moment of peace is a step forward. By the time I reach my apartment, I feel a little lighter. I pick up my guitar, strum a few notes, hum a melody that has nothing to do with grief. For the first time in months, I smile without forcing it. Claire's words echo in my mind. "You're allowed to be happy again, Aiden." And I finally understand. Healing isn't about forgetting. It's about outgrowing the pain, letting it shape me but not control me. I feel a small spark of hope. Tomorrow, I will smile again. And the day after, maybe even louder. 1 year later, my book hits the shelves, The Wedding That Never Happened. I sit in the studio for an interview, microphone in front of me, lights warm and bright. The host smiles. "Aiden, your story resonated with so many readers. How did you turn heartbreak into something so powerful?" I take a breath. "Pain shapes you more than love," I say quietly, letting the words sink in. "It forces you to see yourself clearly. It strips away illusions. It's brutal, but necessary." She nods, leaning closer. "And now, a year later, do you feel healed?" I shrugged, a small smile forming. "Healed, yes. But it's not about forgetting. It's about growing. About taking what broke you and using it to become stronger, wiser." After the interview, I step out into the city sunlight, holding a copy of my book. The streets buzz with people, laughter, and life. I take a deep breath, heading toward the park where Rachel and I once dreamed about our future. I walk slowly, remembering every moment, the stolen kisses under the old oak tree, the laughter echoing in the fountain square, the plans we made for a life that never happened. None of it hurts anymore. It's memory, nothing more. A couple passes by, holding hands, whispering to each other. I smile softly. I remember being that man, full of hope and trust, but I also see how far I've come. I find the bench where we carved our initials. I sit, tracing the letters with my fingers, thinking of Rachel. My voice is barely a whisper. "You didn't break me, Rachel. You pushed me into becoming who I was meant to be." The wind rustles through the trees. I close my eyes for a moment, letting the peace settle in my chest. The anger, the pain, the betrayal, they're all shadows now, fading but not forgotten. They made me who I am. Claire's words echo in my mind too, from months ago. "You're allowed to be happy again, Aiden." I nod to myself, a quiet promise that I've kept. I stand, book in hand, and stretch my arms toward the sky. The sunlight warms my face. The park is alive with people, life, and possibility. A passerby smiles at me, and I return it without hesitation. No mask, no pretense, just me. I walk down the path, past the fountain, past the oak tree, past the echoes of a love that failed. For the first time in years, I feel free, whole, and alive. I'm smiling, not because of her, not because of what happened, but because I finally remember who I am. And for the first time, I feel like myself again.